Hey everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to be showing you Simon Hurley's latest release. I am really looking forward to showing you this video because Simon Hurley did email me and ask if he could send me the new products from his release to see if I'd like to play around with them, and of course I said yes. So I'm going to be showing you what's coming out in his latest release, and as always down in that description box below, I will be sure to link all of the things in case you want to take a closer look at them. He also did send me a couple other goodies from his product line, so I'm excited to show you what he sent, and we're going to have fun making a couple cute cards with all of these new goodies. Be sure to give this a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get started. And thank you so much, Simon Hurley. I have had so much fun creating with all of your fun things. Okay, so before I show you the additional goodies that he sent, let's talk about the brand new release that is coming out. So as a reminder, everything will be linked down in that description box below if you want to take a closer look. But I've had a lot of fun getting a sneak peek at this new release and creating some cards behind the scenes. And I'll show you a couple cards that I'm going to make today, but I'll also show you an additional card that I made the other day too. So one of the things that he has in his new release is this plaid builder. It's really neat. It is a rubber stamp, so you can use this to create a very fun plaid background. So really fun if you wanted to create some unique plaid looks. I love things like this because you can create essentially your own pattern paper and you can get really unique with this. And so these do peel apart as well. Very, very fun. And then for Halloween, or more of a Halloween look, this stamp set is called Mythical Monsters. Okay, my kiddos fell in love with this when they saw it. They thought they were so cute, and my husband immediately said, those are going to be so fun to color, which he knows I've been having so much fun with coloring with alcohol markers, so he was so right. I definitely had fun playing around with this stamp set. The thing that I loved most about this stamp set, besides the cute little critters, is that they have cute little coordinating puns. I loved this little one with all of the cute little eyes saying, "I only have eyes for you." And then I loved the cute little "you make me smile," and then this "say cheese." I just thought they were all so cute. "I think you're cool" down here with this cute little one-eyed cutie pie. But I thought this was really fun. You could create some really fun and unique things with this. I did have fun creating a fun card with this, and I picked the cute little "say cheese" monster, if you will, and I thought he was so fun and cute, and I loved his cute little smile. So what I did was I ended up having fun using some of Simon Hurley's ink, and I did a fun little glow behind this little die cut. I had fun with that, and then of course I did a little bit of heat embossing with that "say cheese" sentiment. I really enjoyed that, of course adding a little sequence, and I thought he turned out so cute and fun. I had fun putting my unique look and style on this fun stamp set, and I really like how that turned out. So super fun. We're going to be playing around with this stamp set today. This is so beautiful. This is called Spread Your Wings, and I immediately gravitated towards this stamp set because I just loved the sweet little birds. Plus, look, you have some little fill-in stamps as well. So you have your main stamp, and then you have some stamps if you wanted to fill it in its entirety with some ink, which I thought was so fun. And I also really liked the sentiments that came along with this stamp set. Hope your birthday is tweet. That was so cute. You make my heart flutter. There's no place like home. You inspire me. I like that there's such a variety of fun sentiments because then you can use this stamp set to make a card for just about any occasion. Of course, you have your birthday sentiment, then you have a little bit more of an uplifting motivational card. This could be made for an anniversary, but I loved that. I loved that it didn't have just one kind of occasion in mind, and I liked that it had a variety. For fall, he has this really cute Happy Fall stamp set, which is so cute, and there's some cute little pumpkins in a barrel. Of course, love the truck with the pumpkins in the back. Again, we have some fill-in stamps, which are really fun, and some really cute additional sentiments. Another one that we're going to play around with today in this video is this stamp set called Friendship Florals. I loved this. I also really liked the font of these stamps and these sentiments. I really liked that as well. They were just so cute. So we're going to play around with this, and I think we're going to make a fun little shaker card out of this. I really liked it. Again, fun little sentiment. It's such a blessing to have you in my life. I liked that as well. And I just think that the sentiments were just so tender and sweet. Okay, so that is the brand new release for Simon Hurley for fall. I really thought these were fun. Again, we're going to play around with this little bird stamp set and then this floral stamp set today. But let's go ahead and check out a couple of additional things that he did send over my way. Okay, I want to keep these separate because they're not part of the release, but these are just some additional things from his product line that he decided to send over my way, which I'm so grateful. And so he did send me some of his stark white cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and open this for the cards today. I haven't opened it yet, but I thought these were really fun. And then these are so neat. We're going to be playing around with this one today, but these are his little lunar pastes, and they are so neat. So I opened this one. It's called Slippery When Wet. It's more of the yellow, but I love it because it has a gold look. We're going to be playing around with applying this on a stencil today, and it's so beautiful. I think I'm going to go through this drawer rather quickly. Additional colors are this Clear Skies. Then we have Roar. This will be really fun for this fall season. It's got, let's just go ahead and open it. Actually, I haven't opened this one yet. I've only opened the yellow, but I can just see this being really pretty for leaves and for fall. Okay, so opening this up, and they all have like this metallic look. Look how beautiful that is. That is so pretty. That just screams fall to me. I love that. And then we have Triple Berry, which is a little bit more of a purple or maroon, it looks like. And then Bee Sting. And then finally, we have Later Gator. How cute is that? I love this. I feel like these colors, it's probably easier if you see it this way, but I feel like they will be super fun for the holidays ahead. Of course, I'm going to use this one today, but I feel like for Christmas coming up, these deeper reds or purpley looks will be really pretty as well. And then he also did send me over some of his ink pads. They are really fun. I did have fun playing around with them. Of course, I did use this Bee Sting color for my little blending on the background of this Halloween card just to give it more of a glow effect, and I really liked that. So I had fun with this one already. Additional colors are Roar, it's more of an orange, and then we have Slippery When Wet. Then we have Clear Skies, Later Gator, and Triple Berry. One thing I have to point out is I love the little names of the colors. They are just so fun. Roar, Slippery When Wet. I just think that that is just so fun and unique. It keeps you smiling while you're crafting. Okay, let's go ahead. I am going to open up this paper, and then let's start by making a couple cards. I think this is going to be super fun, and I have had so much fun playing around with his brand new release, and I'm going to inspire you with a couple cards today. Okay, bringing out a sheet of cardstock. It's 110 pound, which just makes my heart flutter. I love 110 pound cardstock. It's just amazing. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this down to A2 size. So I'm going to go ahead and just run this through my paper trimmer real quick, just so we have some nice panels to work with. Okay, so the first thing that I want to play around with is this really pretty Slippery When Wet, more of a yellow gold tone of Lunar paste. So I am going to bring in his cardstock, and then I'm going to use a really pretty stencil, and I'll link this stencil down below. It's so fun to use, and I thought we would just make a really fun background. So I'm going to just put a little bit of tape here to secure my cardstock, place my stencil right over, and I know that they have little spatulas for elements like this. However, I am going to use just a popsicle stick. I have a million of these. I literally, when I bought some, I think I received a pack of hundreds. So I'm going to use this. Once I'm out of those popsicle sticks, I will use something else. But I found that this has actually worked really well. So instead of going and buying something, I'm going to try to use what I have. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab some of the paste, and I am going to just drag it over the stencil. And let me tell you, this is so relaxing and gratifying to do. It is just so gratifying to see that little paste fall into that little opening. I don't know. I've never really played around with a medium like this, and I feel like I just started a brand new, how do I want to say? I feel like I'm going to want to do this forever now, right? I just found a new love. Okay, so I'm just making sure it's all flat. There we go. And then I'm going to just put that right back in. That way we don't waste any. Okay, so now I'm going to set that there. I'm going to peel up my stencil, and I'm going to immediately go and wash this off in the sink. And check out. Oh my goodness, how pretty. Okay, let me lift this up for you. And it's so dimensional. It may be a little hard to see on camera, but the little dots are raised and they're just popping off the page. So not only do we have a really fun metallic pattern, but it's really dimensional as well. So the first thing that I thought when peeling this up is this color especially looks like foiling. So if you watched my foiling video and you haven't, jumped into hot foiling yet, but you really like the look, I would definitely recommend grabbing this Slippery When Wet Lunar paste, because you're getting that foil look and not having to do the whole foil system, right? So very cool. You could have fun with a lot of different stencils and a lot of different techniques with using this Lunar paste. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this to the side and let this dry, and I'm gonna wash off my stencil real quick. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bring in the first little stamp set here that we're gonna play with today. Again, did I mention it was called Spread Your Wings? Hopefully I did. If not, this one is Spread Your Wings. Everything will be linked down below. And what I'm gonna do is, because I know I'm gonna need to fussy cut this out, I am actually gonna grab some 80-pound cardstock, because when fussy cutting, I find that I struggle with thicker cardstock. So a little bit thinner is easier for me. So let me grab that, place it right in my Misti, and I am going to grab this duo of birds. So cute. And just place it, doesn't matter, just placing it anywhere on my little panel here, because I am going to cut this out. Okay, so let me close the door and let's ink this up. I will be using some alcohol markers to color, so I'm going to use an alcohol-friendly ink. That way the ink and the alcohol markers just play nicely with one another. Okay. And let's stamp that down. And I'm going to do one more. And I'm going to grab my little cloth, because that really helps me glide over that door to give some easy, even pressure. Okay. Grabbing just this little cloth. Okay, and then I like to just let my inked image, oh, that looks nice. I'm gonna let that just sit just for a couple moments while we do other little elements. I just like it to sit just a bit so that the ink truly doesn't run with my alcohol markers at all. It's just personal preference, but I find that pausing for a moment before coloring can make a little bit of a difference. Okay. Cleaning off the stamp. Now, I do want to show you, though, that the filler stamps look really, really fun. I haven't played around with that, but the concept is you could grab one of these filler pieces, place it over the coordinating element, in this case it's a bird, and then you could ink this up and then place your color in its entirety down on that bird. Isn't that neat? So super fun if you aren't wanting to color, but you're wanting to do a nice quick color on your bird, then go ahead and use those. Okay, so placing these back on, and let's go ahead and do some die cutting. Okay, grabbing my spellbinders and also a little panel of Simon Hurley's paper. And I am going to grab my A2 layer die, and I'm just going to trim down my panel here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to also use another die to do a little arched window. I think that would be really pretty. So let me send this through. Okay. Should have angled that a little bit better. Okay, so we have one trim down panel. Now, with the magic of television, I did one of these panels last night just so that I wasn't sitting around waiting for it to dry. And I'm gonna go ahead and trim this down as well. Now, honestly, I probably should trim this down before I apply the paste. That way it doesn't, you know, interfere with that raised look, but I think it will be okay. So grabbing that same, I'm gonna angle it again this time just so it goes through a little bit nicer. But I'm gonna trim this down as well. That way it matches my other panel. Okay, sending this through. There we go. So much easier. That little angle makes all the difference. Okay. Okay, so you know what? It actually didn't interfere with the raised look as much as I thought. So we are good to go. Okay, so then I'm going to use, and I think I already pulled which one I want. I am in love, absolutely in love with these detail cutting dies from Spellbinders. I got this little arched set. I'll link it down below. They are essential arches, so pretty. So I am going to place an arch on this top white panel. I'm gonna grab some tape, and I am going to get that centered as best as I can, top, bottom, left, and right. I think that looks nice. Double check. Okay, I think that looks nice. I'm gonna run this through, and then if you noticed, I used, come here, I used the negative, or the piece that came out, for my little Halloween card, and I'll bring that back in so you can see, because I love that. The look I'm going for here is like a little window look, but you also have a little piece that comes off that you can use for other things, right? So I placed this through, created a little fun window opening that we're going to use for this card. I also need to grab a little bit of, got a little residue from my tape, so I'm just going to erase that with my adhesive eraser, no problem at all. There we go. Okay, so for this card, I wanted to do more of this look. I thought it'd be fun with the birds, but as you can see, this little piece came off. And what I did with this behind the scenes is I used it for this card. So always keep these little pieces because you can always do really fun things. So I'm gonna set this to the side. That way I can use that elsewhere. Okay, taking out my Spellbinders, and let us begin coloring. Okay, so I pulled several markers. Now I have two separate marker collections, and I actually recently just got some new marker storage. I'll try to share it soon, but what I did was I combined all of my markers into one. I have the big collection, and then I have the pastel collection. So I'll go ahead and link both collections down below, both sets that I have, because I think I did select things from both collections in terms of color. Okay, so I thought it would be really pretty to color the birds a blue color. So I have two colors that I pulled, the BG203 and then BG3. And so I'm going to just do a little swatching. Okay, just to see where my darker lies. So I'm gonna start with my birds. I'm gonna bring in my darker color, which ended up being the BG203. And I'm gonna bring in some shading here. Okay, and then I'm also going to, got a little out of the lines there. Okay, do some here. And here. Okay, so I like that shading. And then I'm going to bring in my BG3, and I'm going to do the brush side, and I am going to just really blend out that color to create a mid-tone. just kind of pulling that color out, kind of going in like a little swirly motion too to really pull it out. And going, while it's, the initial color is wet. So pretty. I like these two colors together. I think this is the first time I've used this color combination, and I really like it. Okay, I like the blending there. Kind of softened the shadow. Okay, and then for the remaining part of my bird, I will just do one layer of that lighter color. Whoops, I'm sorry, BG3. It's a really pretty blue-gray. And I liked the tone of this blue paired with Simon Hurley's Lunar paste, that slippery when wet yellow color. I just thought it was so pretty. So I will just finish up this little bird, and then I'm going to do the same color for the second bird. Okay, I think that looks nice. I like that variation. I might kind of pull a little bit more just to create a tad more blend, and a little bit more here. Okay, that looks nice. You can always go in and add more and just layer your color until you like it. Okay, same technique and color combination for my second, and I'm going to use the fine tip to do my shading. So coming on this little left side here and right down the belly. There we go. And I'll just finish up doing the exact same thing with this one. So if you haven't checked out Simon Hurley's channel, which I'm sure you have, he is the coolest. So fun, and oh my gosh, his tips are so great too. So talented. But I'll link his channel down below because, oh my goodness, such talent, and I love just watching him create. It's so fun. So of course, when he emailed me wanting to send over this little set for his release, I kind of squealed. Because it's Simon Hurley. How fun is that? Oh my gosh, so fun. Okay, finishing up. Goodness, I love this color. That's just so pretty. And you know me, I like the neutrals and the soft neutrals, so this color combination, I'm gonna have to write this down. Okay, blending out just a little bit more and softening those shadows. I like that. I like how that looks. Okay, I am going to do a little bit more of, well, should I do, let me just do the beak really quick. This salmon pink YR4. I love this color for an orange. It's just so soft and almost sherbet. And I think it looks really nice. It's just a really muted orange, and I think it's so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna bring back my BG3 just for a moment. There's just a little bit of a dark. Okay, like that. Okay, now I think for the leaves, I want to do this Y11. I want to do more of a fall look. I'm really into the fall colors right now. I pulled a couple. Okay, I want to do the Y11 and also this orange again, the YR4 for my leaves, because I want everything to be just a little bit more fall. Okay. So I'm going to do some kind of brown and orange leaves, and I'm not going to stress about shading because teeny tiny area here, and I don't think it's really needed. You definitely could just, even with the same marker, I do it all the time, especially on small spaces, just add a little bit with the same color instead of pulling two, of course. But I love the detail on this sweet stamp set. These little birds are so cute. I love the movement too. Okay, so this here. And I might even just bring this color in very lightly on the little feet because they're so small that I don't know that we're even going to see the feet that much. Okay. So again, that was the Y11, and then again, we'll do the YR4 for bringing in just a little bit of orange. And give it a fall look. Now, of course, if it's springtime, you could have fun bringing in some really pretty green variations. Get a couple greens out, and then look, you have a totally different looking card, right? I love that you can, based on the colors you choose, make it very seasonal dependent, right? I think it is super fun. Okay, how pretty. It also has a couple little, I'm just gonna bring a little bit there. Okay, cute. Now let's do, whoops. Sorry, leaf. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my final color, which is this Y9. It's a yellow or, oh, I'm not sure how to even say that. To do my branch. And I'm gonna go all over at first. It's a really nice kind of yellow brown. And the fine tip is my best friend for little areas of coloring. Okay. Got my branch, and then I will add just a little bit more down here just to bring in a little bit of shading. Okay, easy peasy and done. I love that. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to fussy cut this out. Now, if you haven't done fussy cutting, it's pretty easy. You just have to decide on a margin and see it through till the end, right? So decide how much of a shadow that you want, or if you want a shadow at all, and then just take your time cutting around. Now, I will say that a thinner cardstock for me is a little bit easier than a thicker cardstock. So if you are struggling doing fussy cutting, make sure that you maybe use a thinner paper, because that can make it a little bit easier, but that's just me. Okay, so finishing up, and I did pretty well. I have a couple areas where they're not perfect, but you know what? This is what I have found. I have found that I stress out about fussy cutting. It stresses me out a bit, but I find that in the end, when I look at my final card, my eye isn't drawn to those little areas that initially stressed me out. Okay, I'm just going to kind of flatten these little pieces back down. Sometimes a little bit of bending and curling can come, especially with some intricate areas, but I think that that's pretty cute. Okay, let's go ahead and build up this card. So I'm gonna do a little bit of heat embossing because I wanna bring in my sentiment, but I wanna bring it in on, some vellum. I think that would be pretty. So I'm kind of thinking this is what we'll do. But I want to bring in my sentiment here, though I don't want to lose that nice patterned backdrop that we made with the Lunar paste. So I think vellum is the right choice because it will just offer a really soft look, but also showcase our sentiment. So I'm going to bring my Misti right back in. And of course, the stamp set, I will also bring in a piece of heat-resistant vellum. And let's see. Oh, I'm going to do my anti-static powder because I'm getting so much better at remembering that. Okay, taking my heat-resistant vellum, I'm going to just prep that surface. Okay. Yay me, I didn't forget this time. Also grabbing my Versamark, but let's see. I was thinking the Have a Beautiful Day. I liked that because that honestly, I feel like it makes the card a little bit more, you know, everyday, if that makes sense. Okay, hold on now. I need to make sure. Let's bring in, so I want to do a wrap. But I have to see where I'm going to put. So I'm going to have my birds here. I want my sentiment to be maybe here, but I want to have enough room for my wrap. I feel like if I do that, I'll be just fine. Okay, so roughly there. And I can take my card back out. Okay. I'll make sure that this is nice and straight. Now, when doing vellum, I will say I don't like to double stamp with the Versamark. Oops, I lost my eraser on that one. Sometimes a little eraser helps just move these around. So I try to do it all in once with the Versamark because I struggle with vellum keeping it aligned, even in the Misti. I don't know why. Might be just me. Okay. Make sure that's all good. And then just because I was kind of handling that, I'm just gonna do that one more time. Okay. Versamark. And okay, that looks great. Press that down. Take my time there. And hopefully I won and done. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, that looks great. So I'm going to use this Superfine Detail Black from Ranger. And I'll clean this off later. But let's get the powder on there. Grabbing my little catch paper. I actually just got some new catch paper. Just a fresh piece. Okay. Hopefully. Oh, that looks good. You know what? It's kind of smudgy. I'm gonna need to turn that around and try again. But because it's just a little smudgy, I think I pressed too hard on the door. Let me try one more time. Luckily, my stamp is still in the Misti, so I can just do that, do that. Prep my paper. And maybe a little bit more of a light tap. Oops, sorry, that kind of fell out of camera a little bit, but. Oh, that's much better. I can already tell. Okay. Okay, let's do that again. That's one of the nicest things about keeping your stamp in the Misti until you have it done, because if you need to redo it, everything's already lined up. You don't have to start all the way over. Oh, do you see the difference? Okay, the top was no go. Do you see the second one? So good. Okay, so in fact, that is really good. Okay, let's go ahead and heat that up. Again, heat resistant vellum, and I'll link that down below. I'm really liking it. Although I feel like I had to practice with it just a bit because you need to kind of go quick with the heat. Okay, and I'm not worried about the other side at all because I'm just going to trim it off. But let's heat that up. Okay, and something that I think is that on the vellum, when you do the black, and it's actually not as easy to see on camera, but it almost looks more navy, which to me is the most perfect happy accident ever because I love a navy with a gold. So this is the black, but for some reason on the vellum, I feel like it looks navy and it's one of my favorite things ever. So I'm gonna bring my mini trimmer in and just trim this down, and then we're gonna build this on up and be done with our first card. Mini trimmer, where are you? Here I am, how do you do? Okay. Trimming off this piece. That way we just don't get powder everywhere. And I just want to make sure that that's all nice and straight. So I feel like that bottom, this was kind of a piece of scrap vellum, so I feel like the bottom needed to be a little bit cleaned up. That looks really nice. And then I'll just try to replicate the same margin on both sides. So let's do that. And, oh, I actually like that. Okay, now that looks nice. So let's start by grabbing some foam tape. And I recently got some thinner foam tape. It was actually a happy accident. It came in thinner than I thought, which is obviously a me error because I could have read the directions. But it was, again, a happy accident because when you have pieces like this that you want to raise up and you have a little skinny area, this is perfect. So I'm just going to add some foam tape around the perimeter of my little window, and we'll get this all bumped up. I think that will be really pretty. I could have put that more in the middle, but we're gonna make it. Okay, so how's everybody else doing? How is everyone's fall? I feel like mine is going really quickly. The weather is starting to turn. It's kind of teasing us. It will be, you know, starting to turn, and then all of a sudden we'll have like a 90-degree day again, which is so hard, right? Because I feel like our closets are a little bit in transition, and I also feel like laundry this time of year is very overwhelming because I'll tell you why. In the mornings, everybody's so chilly on the way to our activities. Everybody's really cold. It's a chilly morning, but then by the time everybody is done in the afternoon, everyone's so hot. So the mornings we're dressed for fall, and then in the evenings we're back into summer. And so I'm kind of just wishing the weather would decide, although I hate to wish time away, so I'm just embracing it for what it is right now. Okay, I'm going to peel away, and then I'm going to bring in my Score Pal. You could also do this next part in a Misti. You just need a little corner nudge. Let's see, did I get these? Yeah. Okay. Sticky, sticky. Do you see how that size of foam tape is just a blessing right now? Okay. I'm going to place my little arched area down. That way I can use this corner, and it's just going to help me line up my next piece. Again, I did trim these down like you saw with my A2 die. That way they're just a tad bit smaller than my card base. I really like that look, but also I trim them down together because these two pieces will line up. Okay, so there, oh, that's so pretty. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna take, I feel like I have a little bit of a gunk up here. There we go. These are my best friend lately. Okay, now I want to decide on, I want to nudge in oh, that's pretty, and kind of nestle in my sentiment there. I think that's really pretty. So I think I'm just going to need to decide. I think that looks good. So I'm going to pop this back off, but it looks like I have maybe 1/4 of an inch below there. And you know what? I am just going to take any old tape. It doesn't matter. This part will never be seen again, except for right now. And I like how that looks. So I'm going to make sure it's straight. Turn it over. And I'm going to wrap those pieces. That's why I wanted to make sure it was extra long, because I'm just going to wrap that around and tape. Now again, making sure it's straight now that I have one side done. Okay, straight and wrap. Done. So pretty. Let's go ahead and put this on the actual card base quickly, and then we'll put this on next. Okay, bringing in my Score Pal again. I always call it a Score Pal, but it's a Score Buddy, but you know what I mean. Bringing in Simon Hurley's 110-pound cardstock once more, and I'm going to score this at 5.5. Right now it is 11 by 4 1/4. I just trimmed it down right in half. And then if you score it at 5.5, then you have your top folding A2 size card. And that final measurement is 4 1/4 by 5.5. So pretty. Give that a little crisp edge really quickly. And then because I already did some dimension with my foam tape here, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to use a tape runner. You could also use glue just to attach it to my card base. So my favorite to use is the Sticky Thumb. It is so strong, and you do want something a little bit stronger. Let's get it running here. I do find that it's just so strong, and I don't ever have any problems, you know, with my panel kind of coming up when I use this. Okay, so I'm going to just center. Again, I did trim those down with those dies, so I have to kind of center that on there. I really like that look. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, there we go. Look how nice that looks. I love it. Okay, now let's put our little birds on. So I do want to have them kind of nestling over. Now you will see that something is running off here, that little branch, but I will remedy that later. But I do like how it's kind of coming off of the panel and interacting with the base below. I like that look. So I think there is good. What I'll do is bring in some foam squares. I'm gonna need to open a new pack, but let's get some, especially for this hollow area. And then the rest will do glue. Okay, and then one more kind of, actually, I think I'm gonna need to trim that just a little bit. I think we have just enough for this card, and then we'll open up some more for card 2. I'll bring in the middle. Okay, the rest of the area I will use this Barely Art glue, some, and then, oops, I'm gonna take these off, but I'm going to also put some on my adhesive just to give me a little bit of grace for a second to get everything centered. Okay, I think that looks great. So let's see if we can bring in some tweezers. And I like that. Now we have one little area. This comes off of the panel, but is not coming further than the card base, so I'm going to leave that because I like that look. I think I need to move over my foam tape just a hair on this little guy. It's a little high. Trim it down. There we go. And, oh, that looks good. But over here, we're just going to turn our card over, take a peek at where that falls, and trim that off. Oh, that's so cute. I'm not going to add anything else to it because usually I want to put like a little bit of sequins, but I really like the shine of the Lunar paste, and I feel like it needs to stand on its own. Isn't that so pretty? I really like it. It's so simple. Just some simple coloring, a little bit of heat embossing. The Lunar paste steals the show, but also it doesn't take away from the piece, right? It just gives that little added dose of love. I love it so much. Okay, let's go ahead and make the second card. I want to do a shaker. I love a shaker, and I really want to do some more coloring as well. So let's go ahead and start on the next one. Okay, so again, because I know I will fussy cut this out, I'm going to grab some 80-pound cardstock, and then I'll be using Simon's really nice thick cardstock for my card base and my panel. But I'm going to fussy cut out again, so that thinner just helps me be a little bit more successful. I just need practice. Okay, so we're gonna bring in Friendship Florals. So pretty, and I really liked the circular look of this stamp here. So I'm gonna bring that out and place that here. And really anywhere. I don't actually need to be picky about where that goes because, again, cutting out in a moment. So bringing that in, and again, coloring. So I will use an alcohol-friendly ink. That way they play nicely together. And stamp this pretty one down. I love this. Now I'm going to have some fun with some color on this. So I didn't really, research what this actual flower color should be. So, if that is really important to you, then do that. But I'm just going to have fun with some colors that I think will be fun with my sequins that I will bring in later to bring that shaker element into the card. So I say that because if I get the colors wrong, which I'm sure I'm not a expert on floral colors, but I'm having fun. Okay, cleaning off this stamp, and while this sets for a moment, I want to, let's see, I'm gonna cut out my shaker opening. Okay, bringing Simon's cardstock in and bringing my A2 die in first. I am going to, let's have that. There we go. I am going to trim that down. I think a trimmed down panel is my love language. I just think it's so pretty. Okay, sending that through. Oh, snap, crackle, and pop. Okay. And then, actually, I will send this through once more with this little opening. This will be my shaker. So let's get this, let's get some tape exactly how I'd like it. We are going to have a craft room cleanup at the end of this video because it is getting, oh, it's getting interesting. Okay. It's the happiest mess ever when making a card, but it never fails me how messy I can challenge myself to be. Okay, bringing in a circle die. I'll link these dies down below as well. I'm going to just do a little opening. And again, just like earlier when I mentioned, I'm not going to be using, be gentle here, I'm not going to be using this little circle that's coming out. Instead, of course, I'm using this opening, but keep this because you can bring it in another card. So I'll set that to the side as well. Okay, I also want to bring in some color, and I recently, for fall, picked up this really cute smooth cardstock. It's the boho color combination from scrapbook.com. Really pretty colors for fall. I am going to use this green, and I'm going to use it as a background panel for my shaker just to bring some fun color in. So because I trimmed this piece down, I also want to trim my background panel down. So grabbing my A2 die. Okay. And send that through. Okay, and I am loving his cardstock. I also like that it matches really, really well to the Nina cardstock that I use quite often, because if I do want to choose to use a thinner Nina for, my fussy cutting, then I know I really am picky about wanting my cardstock to match. So I like that his cardstock, it truly is a really nice stark white, just like he named it, and I like that it plays well with other cardstocks as well. That's really important to me. Okay, let's do some coloring, but this is going to be our little opening. How cute. And now we just need to color this and get this all cute. Okay, again, just choosing colors that I think will be fun for more of a fall inspired card, but choose whatever you would like. What I will do is I'm going to start with the leaves, and I pulled this pretty lime green. Don't worry, we're not going lime. This is actually a really pretty sage color, but they have it called a lime green. And I'm gonna go through and just color my leaves. Look how pretty this is. It's just a very soft green. See, it's not lime at all. Sometimes, that's why I swatch my colors, because when you think lime green, I think neon. So I do not rely on the caps and their color names, but instead I swatch them and I only look at my swatches, because then I can see the actual color. And the swatches just came with, I think someone had asked me this previously, but if anyone else is wondering, the swatches just came with my marker set. So, okay, and then I'm going to just reference and locate that vine tip to bring the little stem to life with some green as well. Now, I didn't really have a darker green that I really liked for shadowing, so I went ahead and pulled this CG2, which is just a cool gray, and I'm going to use this cool gray to bring in some shadowing. So I thought, I feel like I've seen this done before. I feel like I've seen this done before, where you, and if I could remember exactly who I saw this from, I would absolutely tell you, but I can't remember who I saw do this. But if you don't have, you know, a nicer dark color to the color you're using, you could consider a gray, because look how that looks. That looks, ooh, that came in really quick, but look how that looks. It looks really nice. Now I'm going to actually further blend that out a little bit with my green once more, but it does offer you an option to get some shading, and I think it looks really, really nice. So I'm just going to do some simple shading and kind of come in and bring a little bit of dimension to the leaves and a little down here as well. Just kind of going through and adding just something, just so it's not so flat. And then again, probably here and there. Okay. Then I'll bring my lime green back, and I'm just going to soften it. So I'm just going to take my brush tip and just kind of pull and soften, which also kind of just deepens that green again as well. So just pulling that through. And you can also, again, you know, bring back in your gray and deepen your shadows. But I think that looks really nice and kind of natural. And those will just all kind of settle down into oneself as well. But I like how that looks. Okay, so that will all just kind of tone down. And I'm also going to bring in R19 and E090. And I have to swatch each and every time because sometimes I don't remember which I want to do where. Okay, so this is an eggshell white actually, and it's E090, and I'm going to use that for my shading. Now, do I want, yes, I'll do that first. Sometimes I go back and forth with, you know, do I want to start with my darker or do I want to start with my lighter? And, you know, I just don't have any hard and fast rules. And I kind of just do what feels right with either the image I'm coloring or the colors I'm using. Sometimes it depends, you know, like if the tones are super, super close to one another and there's not much contrast between the two, then sometimes it makes sense to start with the lighter color. I just honestly have fun. I'm just not too stressed about the right and wrongs of coloring. Just want it to look nice in the end. Okay, just bringing in a little bit of shadowing here. And finally with my tiny one at the end as well. Okay. And brush side of R19. And I just wanted kind of a nice peachy, orangey pink for this. I thought it would be really pretty. And you'll definitely see why when you see the sequins, which won't be a shocker. It's my favorite sequins as of late. I just think it's so pretty. And it really just kind of makes me think of fall, right? Okay, finishing up. And I can always go back in with my slightly darker of the two colors and bumping up my shadows if I feel like they're kind of getting lost, which for this, I feel like they may be kind of getting just a tad lost. So I can just come back in with the E090 and I'll just bump those up a little bit. And I love that you can just continue to make those creative decisions. And bringing in, this is Y2. And it's a nice mustard yellow. And I'm just going to keep it simple just to bring a little bit of color to the center. And I'll be all done. Okay, there we go. Really like that. I love the little shadow too. So fun. Okay, before I put down and construct this card, actually, I want to put my sentiment on this panel. So I'm thinking I want this here. And in fact, I may even tape this into place because that looks just so nice. Oh, so pretty. Okay, I am going to do final answer on that. That looks nice. So what I'll do is, actually might bring that up just a little bit. There. Okay, I'm going to turn this over. And again, use whatever you'd like. I'm just going to use a little bit of pink tape. And I just want to secure this. That way it stays where I think is nice. Okay, so that's great. And now what I'm going to do is I want to put my sentiment down here. I think that will be really pretty. And grabbing my Friendship Florals stamp collection again, I think this You Matter So Much, Friend You Matter So Much to me, that's just way too beautiful. And it could be intended as a thank you. You know, you matter so much to me. It could be intended as an encouragement. So I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna get that where I want. I kind of want, no, I want it lower and right justified. I think that will be really pretty. And what I will do is, because I don't want to make a mistake on my panel, I'll get it positioned where I want, and then I will stamp this out onto, that looks good though. I will stamp this out onto a piece of scrap cardstock just to make sure I like the alignment and test it out. Okay, scrap piece, will that fit? Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, okay. Scrap piece, and we'll just make sure that that looks straight. Test it elsewhere. Because if you ruin your panel testing, see, I kind of think that that is, I feel like just one side needs to come down just a hair. Okay, let's try it again. I was beginning to say and then got distracted. I have tested it on a panel before, actually, when kind of playing around with this actual card, and I didn't get it right. Whew. Oh, that's much better. And yeah, I'm not very happy because you just spend so much time, right? And to mess up on the actual panel. Ugh. Okay, I'm also going to further glue those pieces down just so that they are nice and pressed on the card. but let's go ahead and place this down. Oh, I think that's pretty. I don't want to do too much pressure because I don't want to interfere and like smush the sub-sentiment, the "you matter so much to me," just because it's so delicate. So just a nice finger press. Make sure that's still aligned. Oh, Bethany. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Stop while you're ahead, girl. Okay, I like that. Now let's do the final shaker. So what I want to do is just really quickly, before I continue, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to these pieces right under there, just so those lay really nice on my card. There we go. And a little here as well. And I could have done that when I was taping it. I kind of got a little bit ahead of myself, but you know, that's okay. Happens. All right, let's go ahead and put some acetate on the back. So I just have this sheet of acetate. I'm going to trim it down, and I just need a little bit for this window opening. So just about there. Okay, and then this does have protective film on both sides, so I'm just going to take that off to reveal that nice crisp window. And sometimes you don't want to scratch it, of course, but because you're never going to see this corner again, I just grab my tweezers just to help me grab that film. There we go. And before I peel off the bottom side, let's put glue around the opening of my window here, but also on this area, because I just want to lay that right down as soon as I get this film on. That way it's not getting anything on it from my table. Okay. There we go. And laying that right down. There we go. Okay. Let that dry, and let's go ahead and grab the foam tape next. And I think I'll just use this again because I have some really small areas, you know, on the sides. And I'm focusing on making sure that I really close the gaps, because I'm going to end up filling this. I'm going to go all the way around first because I'm obviously going to bump up the entire panel. But I want to make sure up here that these pieces, start over there, are closed. We're creating essentially a gate, right? And we don't want any openings for that sequins to fall out. So as you can see, we're only going to see the sequins right up in here. So I am going to bring that up a little bit more. That way we don't have the sequins falling down in here, because it doesn't matter. And then that's just kind of wasting sequins, right? So I'll bring it a little further up. There we go. That way we just keep it all up there. Okay, and then also just bringing this up a little bit so we don't have this bow down. Okay. Okay, now it is time to add the sequins. So I like to peel before I add my sequins, because once this is full, I don't want to disturb it and have those sequins popping out everywhere. It gets a little crazy. So I'm going to bring my score buddy right back in, and then I'll fill the sequins when it's in there. That way I'm not moving it. So just as much or as little as you'd like. I think just about there looks good. And then I'm just gonna move it around, well, just move it around with my fingers. That way it doesn't kind of clump up. There we go. And grabbing my background panel. Make sure this is all down nice. Place this in the corner. And there we go. Oh my goodness, how pretty. Don't you love the green? I love the pop of the green. I feel like I got that a little misaligned up there, so you know what? It doesn't matter that it's straight, it just matters that it doesn't show. So I'm just gonna sneak in my scissors, trim that off, and that's much better. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my card base and we'll place it right on there. Okay, and sequins will be linked down below. It's my favorite. I love it. And I love how fall it looks, right? It looks just nice and autumn. Okay, bringing in that Simon Hurley 110-pound cardstock again. I'm going to do a top folding card, so I'm going to score it 5.5. Okay. I'm loving his cardstock. That's so exciting. How grateful to get some too. Okay. That all nice and crisp, but then I like to open mine when putting my panel down. Okay, once more, that sticky thumb is where it's at for me. I'm not gonna put it, usually I pop it up on foam tape, but because we already have some foam tape for the shaker part, I don't want it to be so dimensional. So a nice strong tape runner is where it's at. Centering. That looks good. And press that down. Cutie patootie. Oh my goodness. I really like it. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. How fun. And I just love the shine. And it complements the coloring so well. The colors just look so nice. This is also just a sweet and tender sentiment. I love it. And again, you could just send it for anything. If you needed, you know, just a thinking of you, an encouragement note, a thank you note, I feel like this sentiment pairs well with all of those occasions. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while I made a couple fun little cards. A huge thank you to Simon Hurley for including me and sending me some of your fun products for your new release. That is so fun and I'm so grateful. I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope you were inspired in some way. Definitely get some of the Lunar paste. I'm obsessed and I think I'm going to be sneaking that into so many more autumn and Christmas cards that are coming up. It is so pretty. And again, if you are not quite sure if you want to jump into hot foil, I feel like you can achieve that look with his Lunar paste, especially that slippery when wet color. I love that so much. All right, everyone, I hope this inspired you in some way. I can't wait to see you in the next video, and I hope you have a very fun day. And now, time to clean this craft room.